Cool. Okay, it's Wednesday, June 17th, 5:30 PM. Having our special education meeting, special events meeting in this beautiful room. Thank you. Call to order. Call the meeting to order and let's do roll call.
Allison Iskowitz, Events and Volunteer Manager. Nancy Mayella.
Celia McFadden, Chair.
Rebecca Andreasen, Vice Chair.
Eugene Petrola.
Marco Mesa control.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for Nick. She said she was.
Keep hanging out.
Oh, she's hanging out. Okay. Let's say, number 3, verify the meeting was properly noticed. It was. Okay, any owner comments? No owner comments? Look at that little kickoff that said he was ready to. Okay, let's adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second. Let's make an approval of minutes for the special event committee meeting, May 14, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
All the questions. Okay.
All the questions.
All in favor? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody?
Aye.
Okay. Next, review past events. So all of this is getting kicked over to you, Allison.
Yes.
Okay.
I know the last one is typically when we would go over, so every single meeting, any of the last events that we had, we'll go over, what we liked, what we didn't like, what numbers we had, that kind of stuff. So, we'll start all the way back to the kickoff to summer country barbecue that happened on May 1st. We had 734, guests in attendance. I do think it worked out really well tailoring kind of the game trailer towards the teens, the lawn games with the kids. The food was really, really good. The only issues, which I know Mark would kind of attest to this, is that we did have multiple times where the outlets on stage actually popped and the band went obviously silent because we had to keep resetting. So I know that is something that we are currently working towards, is kind of getting ourselves a better sound system for out there. So hopefully that'll work out soon. We do know a lot of the feedback was that residents loved the event. However, they want the luau back. So not only do they want this event, but they also want that luau. So just kind of wanted to throw it out there for those of you that did attend, what you thought about it, if you had any feedback or what you'd like to see moving forward.
I didn't go, so I can't make a comment.
I thought it was really fun. It wasn't 3,000 people there. It was a beautiful night. Everything was decorated nice. Everybody was having a good time. I just wasn't happy with it. But then who goes to a barbecue and gets hummus?
Can you repeat that so we can hear you? It's hard to hear.
Oh, sorry.
Calm it down.
You want me to down? Do you guys hear?
I couldn't, you heard
You
me?
guys-
So, yeah. You put the microphone.
It's just, no, he's forgot to bring the microphone.
So just project a little bit more when
Well,
you
the
speak.
microphone's not on, they said.
Not just to
No.
keep close to you.
Project the diagram. Speak loud.
Okay,
Thank you, Lauren.
thanks, Laura.
I heard you.
Hello?
Coming up over here.
Okay, Allison. That's what I got to say about that.
Any other feedback, Marco, you mean?
I didn't hear what he said, that the luau was always a sellout every year, right?
Right,
So,
just your feedback on the event.
oh, I thought that it was great.
We were there, it was amazing, very well organized, good job, I saw. Everybody's working hard.
Dance
for
floor
this.
was nice.
Residents who are having fun, it was nice, little shy because I saw just few people dancing. I saw the Facebook post about bringing the wall back and some like 4 or 5 comments about that. I don't think we have to switch, but it's we can do one more if needed. As soon as I realized they pop up on the stage and stop and go. By the way, good job from DKNU that you hurry up, you fix the problem. I addressed to Lauren, and Lauren immediately put it in the board meeting for the board agenda. So it was very fast. We all managed to fix that.
Awesome.
Is there another way of, are we having another one of these next year?
That is something that we can discuss.
Moving forward.
Yes.
Okay.
Or do you want to think about putting the luau back in?
Well, that is what we would talk about as committees,
Okay.
decide if we want to bring that luau back or possibly look at maybe doing both of these events, but still, I think having that luau is something that the residents.
Yeah, it was very popular subject.
One thing this committee knows, we're in the process of the first budget draft to go to the board and finance committee, so decisions like that kind of need to be made sooner rather than later. So maybe starting with both and then having a conversation and backing one out later.
Okay, that sounds good.
Moving on, we did a Cinco de Mayo Fiesta Crawl on May 5th. This was the first time that we put that on. The main goal for that was to kind of just drive business into the town. So 24 people actually utilized the bus that Kanoa sponsored for that event. And it brought them all the way to Taco San Andreas, to the brewery, Mulligan's, and then it ended at the block party at Avocados. Everybody actually said that they would like us to do more crawls like that. So that was a really great pop-up. As far as the Mother's Day Tea and Tulips, that was on May 6th. That was wildly successful pay to play. There were 37 residents in attendance for that one, and everybody had fantastic things to say about it. And then our last one was the exotic animal encounter, which was on June 10th. Thankfully, actually this year that we did not go with Gatorland because everywhere in town was holding a Gatorland experience this year. So we did not, which was nice.
This was nice.
Yeah, so we did have 182 residents in attendance. They loved the animals. I think the only feedback, at least from management side, would be maybe not doing more of a Q&A, but just having, some of the animals doing their meet and greets right off the bat to kind of save us some time and have the residents have some extra time for that as well. Those are my updates that I have for you, reviewing of past events.
Okay, and we're gonna move on to discussion items. Founder's Day events and discussion.
All right, so this one is mostly on here because I think we're all aware of the feedback and some complaints that we have been getting regarding this event specifically. So I did want to address a lot of those rumors that are circulating, the internet. So that way us as a committee as a whole really know that backstory and know the proper information that should be displayed across if somebody comes to you to complain or ask any sort of questions or anything like that. So as you know, with it being the 30th anniversary, we are celebrating on the 10s now. So our next really big public Founders Day event is not going to be until our 40th anniversary. All right. So what that means is this is not a CROA event. This is a CCS event. Okay. So that is the main thing that I think a lot of the people are up in arms about. CCS is our nonprofit. That's our 501c4. I am happy to say because this is a CCS event, we raised over $150,000 in sponsorship for this event alone. So that really did help cover the cost of a lot of this for this event. Another one, there were no pre-sales at all whatsoever. The staff did not buy a single table. They didn't buy a single seat. We did not open these to a specific group of people before we released it everywhere else. Everybody got the same communication on when the ticket sales were going to be released on the exact time. And then we honestly did not expect the ticket sales to go as quick as they did. So yes, it did go out in the Friday flash at 10:30, but we were already sold out of the seats by that time. That was something that we didn't know. Over 60% of the ticket sales were all residents. So there were way less non-residents that actually purchased or were able to get into the system to purchase those tables and those seats as well. There is in fact going to be a Founder's Day resident only event. So this is going to take place on Thursday, November 5th at Lakeside Park. Because it is a Thursday, we're doing almost like a throwback Thursday, 90s, 2000s themed event for residents and their guests, which we will talk about the guest policy a little bit later. This one, we actually just got approval, so I will announce it to you guys so that you know. The board did approve that we are bringing Ryan Cabrera to that resident only event to actually DJ for that event. And then on top of that, Mix 105.1 is going to be on site doing activations, and they are giving us one of their DJs that's actually currently on the air to DJ for 2 hours before Ryan goes on. So we were given this task of creating 30 additional events for the residents. So that's 67 events in one calendar year. I can tell you right now, there's no other community that puts that amount on. Okay, so with that, it didn't mean that we got more budget. We have to work within that budget. So whether it was, we take, splitting some budgets in half to make sure that we accomplish these extra events for the residents, then we did. So this event we're really excited about. We will begin releasing some flyers and information regarding those exact things, but I just wanted to make that known here as well. Just because residents didn't purchase tickets or get into the system to purchase tickets does not mean they can't attend the Founder's Day event on November 7th, the public event. There is plenty of standing room in the back. There will be places and opportunities where they can actually bring, lawn chairs and sit off to the side as well. So it doesn't mean that they're not allowed into the area at all. The text a question to the band that's going on with one of our sponsors. She is very close with Brad Fischetti, who is LFO. He is a current resident, and his opportunity to give back to the residents and his community was to do this specific thing special for our residents. This was something he specifically requested to go through this sponsor to do. So we're going to respect that, obviously. So that's just kind of how that is, why that is the way that it is. If anybody has any other questions regarding the Founder's Day event before, you kind of jump to any conclusions, management, we are always here with open ears to talk about. If you have any questions regarding this event specifically, please come to us. We are not a ticket sale HOA. We have Square. I'm pretty sure we're the only people in the world that use Square for this, ticket sales system. So there was no way for us to release any sort of pre-sale to our residents first. So that's why kind of this resident only event, we are still including a lot of the stuff that the nighttime event on the 7th is going to include. We're doing our very best to accommodate and make sure our residents feel loved and included, and that is just kind of our number one priority. All right, any questions or concerns regarding anything I just said?
Thank you for clarifying.
Absolutely. So now I'd really just like to move on to the event itself. If anybody does come up with any questions, don't hesitate to ask. So in your flyer here, you have a purple page. That is our official 30th anniversary Founder's Day event logo. We did get this outsourced by a company who created this specifically to us. We will have a lot of merch available, lots of shirts, lanyards, all this good stuff. We actually are going to do a resident only giveaway that involves this logo as well. We're not going to announce that detail just yet, but we are very, very excited about it.
That's something just to try. Also, kudos to Catherine. Thank you for you and your husband for making the whole limited edition 30th anniversary. That will also be handed out to residents too.
Anybody like to see our house?
Not one for each of you, but I have.
On the back, that is the flyer that is kind of going out for everything right now. So it says our resident only event on Thursday. The daytime event for the Veterans Parade that is still happening that morning, and then the nighttime event as well. So once we kind of release the information regarding Ryan and Mix 1051, we'll include that on this flyer as well. As far as the diagrams go on seating, again, I wanted to be very transparent on the explanation on why it kind of looks this way. If you were there for the 25th anniversary event that was downtown with Caroline Jones, this is the exact same setup as we did for that. The only difference is we added seating to the very front of the stage as well.
Okay.
So those that purchase the seats, they are the white boxes. That is another thing that a couple people were a little up in arms about as well. The white boxes are seats, they are not tables. So nobody will be in front of the chairs. We're gonna have 2 staff members on either side with 2 entry points into it. The way that we are keeping people from, I know scalpers was a really big one. Everybody was communicated with for tables as well as for the chairs. That the name, well, I might have to forward it to you then. Whatever the email address was that they registered through Square on, they were told that the name on the reservation, as in whoever booked those tickets or whoever booked those tables, they must be present with a photo ID that matches the first and last name on the reservation. If they try to come and say, oh, so-and-so bought them, but here's this ID, sorry, we're turning you away. You will not be sitting at that table. You will not be getting into the seats.
It's also in the note section.
Of the instructions
that they did.
Yeah. A lot of communication will be going out following this event. So they're gonna get another email from me that highlights everything that I already kind of sent out, as well as some additional information there as well. So just for kind of the download of the downtown event specifically, it'll start at 5 p.m. So we'll have DJ Bubbles up there from 5 to 7. The boy band questions, this year we're actually getting an LED screen that's going to go on the back of the big stage that Access is bringing us. Right before the concert, we're going to play the answers to the questions that the residents sent into the band. So everybody can go ahead and see that before they actually come on stage. And then the concert will go from 7 to 8:30 p.m. DJ Bubbles will come back on stage until about 9:15, where the drone show intro is going to play. Now, there is something out right now about submissions for residents to submit old photos of when they first moved in here. They can do videos on why they love Living in Celebration. It was just an opportunity to get the community more involved within the event. So we'll play that little montage, and then kind of that'll go dim and the drone show will begin. After the drone show happens from about 9:40-ish to the end of the event at 10 p.m., Ryan Cabrera will come back out and finish it up with a big DJ set. I wanted to highlight a few of the sponsors that we have that honestly made this entire event happen. So Advent Health is our drone show sponsor, so they did pay for the entire show. Celebration Foundation, Visit Celebration, and Lexan. They are also our top sponsors for this event. Mattamy Homes, Orange Slice Properties, Smart City, the Inn at Celebration, Kim Hawk, Renewal by Anderson, Celebration Sanitation, Montessori Academy, and Droneos, who is our drone show provider, gave us a nice discount on the show as well. They all made this possible. Just honestly, the Inn at Celebration, we were required to give the band 4 rooms for 2 nights, plus green rooms, plus food, and all of their hospitality rider. And the Inn at Celebration has given us everything complimentary as an in-kind sponsor.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
yes, honestly, that piece, we could not have made the band happen. So we're very, very, very thrilled with our sponsors. Does anybody have any questions regarding Founder's Day as of right now? Any concerns that you want to address or anything like that?
So I just have one. I know a lot of the companies buy receipts and they try to give them out to customers as appreciation. What you're saying, that's not possible. If they bought them to give out, and did they know that?
Yes, they do. I will tell, the seats were not purchased, like there may be one person purchased 4 seats. Everybody else was either a 2 or a 3. So the name, they were, it not only does it say in the Square website when they registered, but they also received an email that said the digest of everything that I transferred over to you as well.
So Dick Jones registered, used his email, paid with the Square. Dick Jones has to show you his ID
Yes.
when he shows up.
Correct. And so with the seats specifically, if they bought, the 3 seats, they're not, if all 3 of your, like, people of your party, if you didn't show up together in that row, you're not gonna be able to get in to save them a seat. You all have to be together and you all have to sit together. There's no reserving of seats, no saving. You can't just, you can line up for as long as you want to get whatever spot, because there is no reserved seating. It's kind of open once you get in there. But it's the same thing with the table. So that person, if they, if one person bought 2 tables and they're there with 3 people, they have to keep going outside to get their people and re-show their ID every single time.
Then I'll talk to you later about plug in here.
Yeah, I'll take the percent. Any other questions? No? All right.
Great job.
I know that was a lot of info.
Yeah.
I thought this would be on. The Star Spangled Spectacular. This is really just an opportunity for, you're gonna see a lot of this of me saying, hey, here's what's going on, but I am going to be throwing back a lot of these events to you to say, what else would you like to see? Or if you have any feedback on anything. So when it comes to the July, that is, yep. I just wanted to print out kind of the basic setup of what the resident only event area is going to look like, because the downtown one, we all know what that looks like every time, the tables are out there, the food and beverage being sold out there at stage. The M80s are highlighting the, as the band for this year. The only change that we are adding now, a lot of the reasoning behind if we are choosing to charge for some things, it's because we as management are trying our best to assist with the dues that you all pay. Okay, this all helps offset costs. Okay, so always remember that. So we are gonna have 4 inflatables this year downtown for kids, adults, whoever wants to jump on them. We are charging for unlimited wristband jumps this year. Last time it was a free for all and everybody and anybody could go and enjoy them anytime that they wanted to for the whole event. So this time we are going to do $10 wristbands for non-residents, and it'll be $5 wristbands for residents.
Where are they going?
There's gonna be a tent right up kind of near Columbia side. And Proa staff is gonna be manning that tent.
So the inflatables will be on Front Street,
The inflatables will be across from Columbia in those parking spots.
like where the ice skating rink was.
Yes, yep. So one of the most important, I guess, closure things that we need to all kind of remember in a way. Typically what happens for 4th of July is the pack behind the lake is usually closed for about 2 days. This year, due to the size of the show that we have, it is being closed for 3 full days. The reasoning is, again, because this show is so incredibly large, we have fireworks that I guarantee you've never seen done before. There's gonna be some that kind of shoot into the lake and then they bounce and they shoot up into the sky. There's a lot of flips and tricks that Pyro Shows has for us to make it really, really big. We've heard the soundtrack already and it's exactly, what calls for the 250th, so we're excited. But beginning at 10 p.m. on July 1st is when the pack behind the lake is going to be completely shut down. We do have overnight watch of Pyro for 2 nights with our security company. We'll be doing that overnight, but it will reopen once the Pyro company deems it safe to do so after the show. The resident only area, it will feature a DJ from Elite Beats. Elite Beats is the same company that all Disney property utilizes for all their DJs for like New Year's Eve and their really big events. So they'll be over there from 6 to 10 p.m. We're gonna have 2 food trucks over there. We have Tarantini Pizza and Make It Saucy. There's gonna be giveaways. This year, we're actually having 2 bars versus the 1. And that was because they were pretty overwhelmed last year. So there's gonna be one like right outside the lawn and one on the corner on the other side. Polar Seltzer Water, it's just water, sparkling water. They're actually gonna be on site giving out complimentary Polar Seltzer to residents. There will be a photographer over there taking photos over there. AARP is also a sponsor, so they'll be there. And then fireworks will begin at 9:20. Any questions, comments, concerns about that?
The fireworks, they come out of CCS also.
July 4th, yes, is a CCS event. Good. All right. Moving right along then, I guess, if nobody has anything else. Okay.
I'm overwhelmed.
You okay?
And
It's
this year,
overwhelmed.
this year, there's no, did you have the park and ride?
Thank you. That is a great point. We are not having a park and ride this year. No, no bus. And the reasoning was when we touched base with Maygate last year, they said nobody used it. So we decided to kind of eliminate that, to utilize those funds elsewhere. So what's actually happening, we are working with the Community Presbyterian Church as well as the Celebration K-8. They're both opening their parking lots and they will be charging for parking. So that would kind of help in that way. I believe the Catholic Church is also opening their lot. I know that they talked about it. So they might be, but I do know that those 2 places definitely are.
And just like,
Did we use any of those last year?
We did do a park and ride last year, yeah.
Because
So last
we
year
utilized
they did.
those parking lots last year.
No, because we had the park and ride. So we wanted to at least, even though we're taking something away, we're opening up,
Right.
extra parking elsewhere.
so they didn't open up their gates last year. It was an opportunity that Allison reached out to the schools so they could raise money. So I know for the exotic car show, I think, the school raised like $1,500 for opening the parking lot. So it's an opportunity for the school as well as the churches to, receive donations, So we're also trying to help give back to other, entities or organizations.
All right.
All American Food Truck Fest.
Yes, so this one, right now, we have 14 trucks registered. It's going to be very similar to the last one that we had. The only difference is we wanted to theme it more towards that kind of all-American feel since it was right after the 4th of July. So, the trucks that want to participate in the competition itself are creating their version of a like slider, like a little mini burger, which will be what's getting voted on. So the public will go and vote. Yeah. We want to try to theme the battles a little bit more than just having them, voted on whatever. So the ones that want to take place, they will go ahead and kind of create that little mini slider for a little bit of cheaper price than everything else on their menu. We'll award them the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place winners. And then we have a DJ Bubbles will be the DJ for that one as well. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the fun stuff where I need some feedback and things like that for Christmas in July. Obviously, brand new event. The resident giveaway for this one is going to be 30th anniversary green Santa hats. We're excited about those. So all the residents will have to do is visit the Crow tent at the event, show their Crow ID, and they will receive their Santa hat for the event. The entertainment lineup that we have is jam-packed. So we are doing snowfall. We've got 6 snowfall machines that will go every hour with some flurries as kind of just as the event goes on. We'll have a live DJ. There's going to be a holiday putt-putt. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be here for meet and greet opportunities in their Florida gear. There's also a life-size Santa sleigh, which is where the photo op is going to take place, and the families can actually get into the sleigh. We have a nice backdrop to go behind the sleigh, and it's Christmas in July look to it. We have a photographer that will be here taking all the photos. And so that is an in-kind sponsorship that Give Kids the World actually provided us because they do celebrate Christmas every single week. So Santa makes this trip on down from the North Pole to help them out, so they decided to make a stop for us. We'll also be doing cookie decorating. There's gonna be letters to Santa. So if you went to Holiday Fest last year, Madison and Lou, or Madeline and Lou from Orange Slice Properties, they actually provided this as part of their sponsorship. And once the kids made their letter to Santa, they can actually bring it to Santa, when they take photos, or they can put it in the mailbox. And Santa does write back a letter to every single one of those kids, so they will receive that in the mail. And then there is another in-kind sponsorship who is also a resident. She creates event-wide scavenger hunts, for, as a little hobby. So she's gonna create a scavenger hunt for us, which will force people to kind of get around the entire event. We're gonna have a frozen hot chocolate, which is pretty much like chocolate milk in the sense. But they're gonna have marshmallows, sprinkles, whipped cream, the whole thing. And then a lot of furry friends from Give Kids World will also be there, as well as stilt walkers, a balloon twister. So there is quite literally a lot going on. I did have a diagram here that we put together just so that you can kind of see what it looks like. It is only happening on Market Street. So Front Street is going to be completely open. But we will have the proper barricade closures, as well as 2 deputies with 2 of their cars are gonna park nose to nose to kind of help that part out. And then we have a bunch of sponsors for that one that will be on site as well. So one, thoughts on kind of, is there anything about this event specifically that anybody has any concerns or any ideas that we can still implement that you think would work for this one? Or yeah,
What's
you can
this
discuss.
Florida phone van?
That was so that we can see that the van is being parked there as the extra barricade for closure.
Are you on budget, over budget?
We actually made $2,000 in profit off of this event.
And we discussed about doing the card making for hospitalized children. Where will that be?
So that one is gonna be kind of next to the letters. That was something I just now got confirmation from Orange Slice regarding that, because originally it was gonna be us doing it, the pro tent. So we were gonna kind of put you together, but now since they're gonna take that on, we're gonna add an additional tent here that's gonna go pretty much right next to Santa's sleigh, but enough back. So you can imagine, you can just add an extra square in there for the cards.
So is the snow gonna go where originally it goes?
So it'll be a little different. On the map, there's a few snowflakes. So it's gonna be 3 machines on each side. And so it's enough to cover that entire street, as well as having some flurries. If the wind picks up enough, it'll go kind of cover the entire event.
Are they gonna be home from the pole,
They are not,
like the boxes
they're
are?
gonna be a little different. The snow is not coming from Pleasant.
And it's not snow.
No, it's not snow. Yes. It's the same one that Magic Kingdom uses. Okay. The Celebration Foundation, again, is one of our big sponsors for this event. They've also been kind enough to allow us to utilize their 690 building. That's right. I know it's cut off on this map, but right on the corner next to the post office. So the break spaces, for the entertainment will be held right in there. Nothing else? Everything's good?
Oh, that's not
Okay, you're making this a little too easy for me, guys.
Okay. Like,
Okay.
It's a lot, Allison. We're overwhelmed.
I know. First, we got a lot going on here.
I think you guys got it under control.
All right, so then the last splash before class. This is the end of summer pool party that we're gonna do. So Nikki had a great idea over there to incorporate our partner programs for this one and almost create like an open house. So we're gonna utilize the inside of Heritage Hall as well as the pool deck and have our partner programs kind of in tables, almost like the open house that you have at schools where you can sign up for clubs and things like that. So it's an opportunity for people to go inside and shop around essentially before school. We'll have a DJ out there. We'll do some games, pool games for kids. We're hoping some extra fun little entertainment surprises out there.
What's the
Um,
time?
12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then the resident giveaway for this one will be 30th anniversary beach balls.
So everything will be open. The front lawn.
Yep.
Heritage
Mhm.
and the pool.
Correct.
And what about that?
People want to go there
Yeah.
back there, yeah, that's fine. That is obviously a resident only event, so people will just have to bring their pro IDs with them.
And is there gonna be music?
Mhm.
You can say?
Yep, music, pool
Yes,
games.
check.
It's very similar if you've been to one of the Disney resorts. And the people in the yellow and the blue, it'll be very similar to that kind of stuff.
Keep it open.
I guess moving on to the House and Wellness Expo on September 19th. Currently, right now, we do only have 7 vendors registered with 2 sponsors, Advent Health as well as Burn Boot Camp Celebration. I think it's because it's so far out right now, so not a lot of people are committing at this point, but 7 is pretty high for, being only in June right now. So, the idea for this one is to have kind of the Great Lawn stage and the Great Lawn grass will act as like live fitness demos. So it'll be, Pure Barre is gonna be out there. We invited Orange Theory, the Pilates that's down by the Point. Pretty much all of our community partners here that are fitness related that want to provide almost like a 20-minute tops fitness demo for people to be able to try a class out and see if they like it before they actually go full force into the actual venues to do it. So that's what would happen out on the lawn. And then we would utilize our pop-up stage that we have to put on the basketball court and have like live cooking demos to where we maybe bring some chefs in here that can do, what's good to put in your body, what's not, here's how you make this. And then, yeah, nutritionists, that kind of thing. And then obviously a lot of vendors. So we kind of blended the with the health expo and with what we did with the home expo, where we'll have those booklets that's gonna have, the business names, if they're doing any specific giveaways for the expo. And then as the 30th anniversary giveaway, we have hand sanitizers. So they're the spray sanitizers, they're green and they have the 30th anniversary logo on it. And then this is one of those events that is sponsored by Experience Kissimmee. So for them, we get, a marketing grant to be able to promote this to the greater community. So we are expecting quite a turnout for this one, just because number one, health is one of our cornerstones in celebration, but that is a really big market of what everybody is into right now. So I do think, that'll pick up as time goes on. Is there anything, do you think that we need a kids zone? Do you think maybe just a craft? Do you think an inflatable?
Something healthy
for
for it.
a healthy craft?
Such as.
We do have, so Alexis Mann Yoga, she is one of our partner programs. She is going to be doing a kids specific yoga. So that we do target them a little bit as well. But yeah, if you can think of, if we can discuss some sort of activity that maybe we want to provide for them.
Well, I think maybe, we can reach out to Alexis. Sorry, I'm thinking home. Maybe something for the seniors as well, not just for children,
Okay. That's a good
like a chair yoga thing or even a standing, something like that. Can we reach out to like the Zumba club? A regular, maybe a little Zumba or a Zumba Gold. The seniors, maybe the ballroom dance club. Little demonstration.
Well, here's a bunch of
Class.
stuff. You can make edible art. Like
Allergies,
fruit. Oh, okay.
maybe stay away from that one.
You can make your own chemical-free Play-Doh. Little mini terrariums.
Even if we don't, you can also take this and go home and then think about it, because so I'll tell you right now, the next meeting, I'm always going to be putting these events on here that we can discuss as a whole to see how we can expand on them a little bit more. So I know this is our first one where we're really diving hard into all these events. So even if you don't have an answer right now, it's okay. Just let it kind of resonate. I know that there's been a lot of information that's been shared already today. So just anytime that we discuss one, the expectation is to really just kind of think about it when you go home, and feel free to bring those ideas. You can print out stuff if you want to.
So you're asking us to, great job, everything has been amazing. Asking us to expand, is there a budget, money left? for
So-
that?
Yes, what I always say, come here with blue sky ideas. Because there's always opportunity, I'm sure, that we can figure out how to do them, or maybe do something that's very similar to it. I don't ever want anybody to come here with the mindset of a budget in mind, because that's management's job to figure that part out of it. Your part is to really come with those ideas and kind of how you as a resident, what would you like to see at these events? So I want you guys to have the fun part of it. So never think about the money part, just think about the fun part, and we'll see how we can finagle.
Okay,
Yeah, but definitely this good part of this community is seniors. We can't exclude them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. That's a great point.
Unhealthy food, healthy.
It can even be a
Oh.
game. Yeah,
We could put the box with the unhealthy food. And then
Like
the
take the
healthy
bad food
food,
and
they
put it in
can
this
put
box.
it in, if they get it in the right box, they get a little giveaway.
yeah, that's
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And we will have a live DJ for this one, so he can actually host everything. So that is great. I like that. Guess what? That's easy for us to make. All we need to get is giant boxes. Paint them a certain color maybe. Yeah. And then we can just get small little stuffies of the foods and.
Yeah,
There
little
you go.
plastic foods, they have,
Yeah,
that's an
They
inexpensive
sell it.
Amazon,
where you could get the
head, so to speak.
kid.
I love that.
Yeah,
Great idea.
right.
All right. Amazing. All right, spooky soiree. So I want to give a little bit background regarding what the feedback was that we received last year, and then what has been booked already for this year. And then I have the band proposal in here that we do need to vote on today. But I do have their website pulled up just in case you didn't get to watch their promo. We can definitely put that on here so that you guys can see it. But the biggest resident feedback that we received for last year was that they wanted more events on Saturdays versus the Fridays, because Fridays were hectic with the school schedules. So that's why this year it's on Saturday, October 24th. It'll still be from 6 to 9. We did book a few new things that we haven't had for this one. So we did a rock climbing wall. And 2 of those bungees, like we went to the mall, you get harnessed up and it's a big trampoline, they bounce. So we have 2 of those. We do have a couple of inflatables. There's about 3 of them. We are bringing a petting zoo. We have 2 face painters and a pumpkin patch. So that was another really big comment that we received in the surveys, that everybody missed the pumpkin patch. So we are bringing that back. We will have 2 food trucks on site. The basketball court is still going to be the Beyond the Grave rave with the live DJ there. X Factor will be on site to do dancing in between on the basketball stage as well. As far as the entertainment proposal goes that you have in your packet here, I've seen this band plenty of times. They headline a lot on City Walk. They've worked with Audio Exchange, we had them headline our 4th of July event quite a few times. The Cocktails and Screams bar that was in downtown Orlando that unfortunately closed, they were the headliners there all the time. So I definitely think they have the vibe that we're looking for. They really wanted to work here within Celebration. So I gave them a number and they said, we don't care what the audio rig costs. We'll do it for whatever is left over in that budget. So this is a 5-piece band. They're willing to do it for $4,999, and that's including hiring Access to come here to put the audio rig up for them. So you probably will never find that again. But we can go ahead for those of you that did not get to see the video. Oh, yeah. So, there we go. Their song list ranges from everything country to 90s to 2000s to rock and roll to like literally everything. They have quite a few different songs on here that you can watch. So definitely when you have time, if you want to search, kind of go through this and watch a few of those videos, please do, because I highly, highly recommend. But again, I really think this would go over, it's almost on the same line as M80s, but more towards that rock and roll group, which we haven't really hit before. We've mostly hit that 80s pop. So for it being something a little bit different, but to really gear towards that spooky soiree feel.
Like the old days.
Yeah.
Are you picking the songs?
If we have requests, I can absolutely say, hey, can you please make sure that you play these songs that, yeah. Do that.
I think it's an amazing price for what I see, an amazing band.
Is it gonna? Maybe I didn't. Is it gonna be a costume contest?
Yes, and he already said he's willing to host it. And the good thing is the sound, the audio would be coming from Axis, who we are very familiar with, so we know that they know kind of how, where to plug things in and all that good stuff. So I don't think popping, fingers crossed.
So
Would be much of an
why
issue.
do you think the band, why do you think that happened with the, cowboy party, everything popping? And this, it won't pop.
So what we noticed happened, each of those performers at the barbecue had a fan on them.
Okay.
We've never seen, I mean, I've never seen that before.
They have sound.
Yeah, and everything was plugged in the same stuff.
And two outlets where they had to continuously separate them, so that's why they.
Okay.
But like Allison said, Access knows, they've used our facilities before, obviously, we do need to enhance it in the future, but they know exactly what to utilize, so. If the band is using additional amps, we can take from inside the Jones room if we need it, or they'll bring a generator on property for us, so.
It just depends if you, we need a vote on that one, so. If you feel comfortable doing it, if you have additional concerns and you don't want to vote on this band, you
Do we need a motion or
we
just?
do need a motion, and a first and a second.
All right, I will make that motion, to accept the proposal as it is. Second,
Perfect.
Vote.
all in favor?
Aye.
Interesting, we put right on in this thing.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one that is probably going to take up the most, I guess, time for discussion wise.
Will this be part of with this? Because we didn't talk about this, but.
No, this is, so I just put this in here so that you can see what the previous guest policy looked like. With the previous committee, for Spooky Soiree and for Holiday Fest, they wanted to charge $5 for guests of residents. I will say for Spooky Soiree, the $5 fee for the guests, put $600 back into pro funds. So it was very helpful. We had 2,800 people at Spooky Soiree. That is one of our highest attended events. So that is the only reason. This is not me saying you have to do it for Spooky. I just wanted to make sure you all had something in writing of what the board approved in the past. Now, with this, they really went into detail regarding, children under 12. They were considered free because they can't have a Pro ID.
Right.
So anybody that is 12 and above that should be carrying a Pro ID with them, that is what you consider the $5 extra fee. Obviously for, babies and the small kids, we can't be at the front and say your kid's not actually, 9 years old, they're 12. We go by the honor system here. So it's not really that much of a serious thing. But this is just if you quickly just kind of skim through that to see what that looks like. They only had it for those two events. Now, obviously, the June board meeting already happened, and the next one's not until next month, which means this would not be able to be in place for 4th of July. One at CCS, that's a different, but for the resident, it is the CROA. Okay, for 4th of July. So this would not be for 4th of July because you can't, because it's too late. But you can discuss the Spooky Soiree, and if you think as a committee that we should always have fees for guests at all of the events,
The non-resident guests.
non-resident guests. And for like Founder's Day for the resident only area, that would be another really popular one that for the resident only event. So you can discuss if you think that's fair or if you have any changes.
I think that's very fair.
I mean, Nikki.
Sorry, I was just chiming in. I would just highly recommend that you have at least a 2 or 3 month notice to notify residents, especially if it's only like the larger events. So we can advertise that more. The worst thing that could happen is if we wait till August for this, it would be on September's meeting and you don't have enough time to publicize this to the residents.
So we should do this at the July board meeting.
Correct. So at least for Spooky, I would recommend just discussing it as a group tonight. And then that way that can get us approved for July. But if you want to talk about Founders, I would probably suggest talking about that in July meeting and not August.
Why can't we discuss it tonight? Why can't we just discuss that Thursday night meeting that Thursday night event on November 5th? That's at Lakeside. That says resident only, be another charge for people that bring guests.
So
Just like Spooky Soiree.
No, this is not specific to just Spooky. The Spooky Soiree is only in here because this was your example that I wanted you to read.
So we could keep this policy moving forward, the Spooky Soiree
Mhm.
and for the Lakeside November 5th resident only event.
In my only opinion is that just for this particular Founder's Day event,
Yeah.
considering how much chatter there was about residents couldn't get tickets, residents couldn't do this, residents couldn't do this, that this event be specifically residents only.
Right, and if you want
No
to,
guest tickets.
So we can't
oh,
do that.
we can't do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
you're
it's
not allowed
part
to
of like
do
the,
that.
that would
Okay.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the charge.
The charge is
technically
allowed.
Kind of helps balance that, but
Okay.
because it is in, that is kind of the
Right.
rule of thumb of the Pro IDs, we can't.
I
take
think it's
that.
in our bylaws also.
Okay.
Yeah, so this would be like a signature event, right, Nikki? The Spooky Soiree is like a signature.
It's a signature event.
And this is a signature event, so it'll fall under those guidelines that you can do this. So I think moving
charging.
forward, we charge $5.
If we do it for one, we have to do it
Yeah.
for all. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think. Otherwise, we're gonna have people taking over Lakeside and the guests.
Mhm.
I
think that's
understand
the
people.
committee. You just have to determine what's a signature event. So for example, a signature event is also the egg hunt. So are you now gonna charge residents who are bringing, their cousins or?
I think we did this year, didn't you?
We did not charge. Yeah.
You didn't do it this year?
Because the previous committee only chose like Holiday Fest and Spooky Soiree as the fee. It was touched on whether or not they wanted to expand that to like all of the events or if it was just for signature events. But kind of like Nikki said, it's just defining what that means to us as a committee, as a signature event. And even if we do a trial where we just test it through the end of this year and the 2 signature events is the Founder's Day resident only and Spooky Soiree, because remember, we are not doing Holiday Fest this year. Those are the 2, big signature events. Because don't forget for Founder's Day next year and for the next 10 years, it's not going to be a big CCS event. It will go back to just resident only pro event.
So this year, I think, as if you're all in agreement, we do the spooky soiree and we do this November 5th event. But this year, the remainder of this year, charge $5 a person. You don't want to charge the guests? I'm not talking
No.
about the residents.
No,
I'm
yes,
talking
no,
about
I
your
get it.
guests.
It's just. For the Founder's Day stuff, I personally feel, except for the concert, because that's already, we've sold tickets, it's open to the public. I think there should be select events that are for residents only. No,
We can't do
yes,
that.
I understand that.
Yeah, no.
I'm just stating how
Yeah,
I feel about
believe
it.
me, I feel the same way.
But if you implement the $5 per guest, you're limiting, now because I've personally seen people like outside of events and like people coming in and bringing them back in, bringing in other people. So then you're minimizing the amount of outside residents coming into the resident event. So I think it's a really idea.
Because also remember, like, they technically then, they would receive the same benefits as the resident guests. So like for Holiday Fest, the cotton candy tickets that were being given out, those were going to everybody that walked in. So it kind of eliminates that in the sense of, the residents are the residents, the guests are the guests.
No, I get it, and I totally am with the charging. I was, like I said, just
Yeah.
be considering how much chatter and how much, there was quite a bit of heated discussion, shall we say. That maybe there should be something that is just for them,
What if,
but if we can't
Yeah.
do that, then charge.
right, so what if we, for the remainder of the year, do the spooky soiree and charge for the November 5th event, and in the new year, moving forward in January, maybe have the workshop and decide with Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec and special events, we can have a workshop, go down all of the things and say, who do we want to charge? What events do we want to charge the guests $5? And what events do we just not want to charge the guests $5?
So I think that's a great idea. The reason why I say is probably bring up Parks and Rec as well is we're having issues on the Parks and Rec side. For example, basketball court, 1-to-4 ratio. If I have 5 pro IDs, I can bring 20 of my
Yeah.
guests, and it gets very, awkward with the amount of non-residents that we have on property. So I think a workshop is a great idea. I do think that we should do it in December.
Okay,
Because we'll have our refresh or have our minds going after Founder's Day.
right.
But as far as Catherine, what you're saying, and I agree with you, Becca, that if we say, okay, $5 or $10 for non-residents, you have a different band, like
Yes.
yellow for non-residents, red for residents. For Founder's Day, especially since it's a little bit heated, maybe when we do our giveaways, if you see, for example, a red wristband,
Yeah.
we're only doing giveaways for those.
That's exactly, I was just
Yeah,
gonna
you
bring
can
that up
also
as
do it
well.
that way too.
Yeah, considering, the giveaways, they're not an unlimited supply either. So it's a resident misses out on it, there's gonna be a little more heated discussion, I'm sure. But so if it's, like you said, with the different wristbands to identify who's who, and only residents get giveaways, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Which is what we're technically doing now.
Yeah.
Right.
We tested this last year on one of the events. I don't remember what event we tested it on. What was the perception? How did that turn out?
Up at the front, there were very few people that were combative about it, but it was because a lot of people were like, okay, well, I have $5 cash. Well, we don't take cash. So that, and then it was like, well, I don't send my 12-year-old with a debit card, to pay for that. However, what I will say, we did open these on Square for people to pre-register for their guest tickets.
Okay.
So that they were able to just go through a different line when they pre-purchased, and then they went through the other side if they needed to purchase. So I definitely think the different color wristbands are
Absolutely.
definitely useful.
Resistance of anybody that they,
No,
Okay.
it was some people that, you always are gonna have people that say, well, I don't do social media, I wouldn't know. So you're never gonna get away from that. But when it was like that, we also always have a deputy stationed up at the front in case that ever happens, but thankfully,
So
we
why
never-
can't we do cash?
we're just cashless, we don't handle cash, we don't have cash.
It's responsibility, some people, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
Way
thinking
they
about,
Well, it's
I'm
also, if I have
thinking
a
about
$5
three
bill-
kids that are coming that really want to go to this and they don't have credit card, they don't have any way to.
Well, they can pre-buy the ticket.
Yeah.
They don't have any way to pre-buy the ticket, they just want to come. And they don't like have somebody to pay for them.
We always make them call. We've had that multiple times, because it's the people, on the kids on the bikes that want to come through. That's another reason why I'm doing Saturday events is kind of.
There's no school, yeah.
Yeah, but the kids are fine. We say you gotta call somebody to get it, or because a lot of them won't even be carrying, if they go, well, just my school ID account, no, it doesn't. So their adult has to come down and get their pro ID anyways.
Okay.
So we've never really had to turn somebody away fully in order for them to find that.
So should we hold the question and see if we want to vote on this?
Do you want to fully read through this as is, word for word, to make sure everything is clear and makes sense to you? Or if you want to add some verbiage that's maybe unclear?
A household may bring no more than 4 non-resident guests outside of their immediate family on any given occasion, unless under a scheduled event, private party, etc. The pass holder must remain, well, that's not gonna happen. That's not Disney. We're not Disney.
Well, they're talking about the ID, the Chrome
Yeah,
ID. is
okay.
fast.
So Bridget. A guest is defined as anyone who does not reside in the residence household. Okay. Celebration residents in good standing with pro ID. That can be a problem. Because anybody could move out of Celebration and still have their pro ID. And I said that when
That's
they
true.
brought Gallagher in, that was supposed to take that. But that's only if you have Gallagher. So
I think
if somebody can move out of Celebration that week
Before.
and not be a resident anymore, or take their sticker off, or when they show their pro ID, put their hand over this. There's so many different ways people could get in here.
Yeah, so, what our team has on their phones, it's a scanner, so the park monitors have it on their phones where they can scan a pro ID, say if it's active or deactive. What I've been working with Allison on and Dom, so maybe we can invite Dom maybe to the July, if not August meeting, for at least 2027, our goal is to have turnstiles. Where you would basically tap it and say that if it's registered or if you're not in good standings, it would turn red and the staff would be like, okay, your pass is not working, because I agree with you 100%. I can live here and I can move out and
If
there's
you
nothing.
don't tell anybody you're moving out, nobody's gonna know you moved out.
Correct, yeah. Even though I can't scan in to get into the amenities, I can still show an ID and get into the event.
Yeah.
So we're aware of that, and that's what we're trying to avoid in the near future, so.
So maybe
by
that should be,
2027.
that should all be in our workshop.
Yeah, I think it's a discussion item that we can have in an upcoming meeting, invite Dawn, and Dawn can share that with the technology committee as well.
Is there anything that says, of course, as soon as your house is sold, you must notify town hall? Does if you leave it to the homeowner, it won't be done. If there's something that we can work with realtor who sells the house, who says, you must notify.
But if somebody's renting a garage apartment in their
Okay.
garage apartment, they had a year lease and they decided I have to leave after 6 months. But they decide they're gonna keep their ID. Who's gonna,
But that's what I'm
who's gonna
thinking.
confront them and say,
Well, in the rental case, then I think the homeowner should say, should notify town hall and say, my renter is moved out, please to deactivate your ID.
and in a perfect world that would work, but a
Exactly.
lot of residents don't even live in this country, that their homes are.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's a difficult thing.
I do think just like a tap, like a scanner, kind of like an annual pass. You tap and it's
Yeah.
either green is good, red is deactivated. And that way that helps staff and potential volunteers, or committee members work on.
and that's what Gallagher was supposed to.
That's something that we can still review with, Don.
So what do you want, what would we vote on? That we charge anybody up to 4 guests $5 to get into Spooky Soiree and the November 5th event at Lakeside Farm.
But you have to clarify if you are leaving all of this as is before vote, because we can't vote on this policy and then change it
Right.
after we voted on it.
The only words I would say is, I just mentioned it to Allison before, where it's underlined, the third bullet point up from the bottom, where it's bold, that it should say only 4 non-resident guest tickets may be purchased per Pro. I just add those 2 words in. I know it's said several other times.
Is there a reason why we want to rush it?
Well, this will have
When
to
they
go to the
start
board. This is-
advertising,
Yeah, we can't just vote and then implement it, because now it'll have to go to whatever next board meeting is. So, I mean, you have time before spooky, like another month. So even if you take this printout and you make kind of edits on them, and then we come back and maybe just kind of go through those edits and see if we can agree on some verbiage. And then maybe by the August will be the very, like, it's gotta go to the board. Because it's October 24th is spooky.
Did you end up bringing reservations about doing it now?
No, I was just wondering if there was something, if there was a reason why we're trying to rush it.
This way it's-
All the ideas are great. The only one that I don't particularly care for is different color wristbands for kids. So one kid gets a treat and the other one.
Well, no,
doesn't.
it's
No,
for
it's resident versus
non-residents.
non-residents.
Okay, but it doesn't eliminate one child's coming in and getting like something for free and another one does not.
I think he's saying if it's a
Yeah.
non-resident child versus a resident child, like, I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I mean,
see the point.
children don't understand why
No.
someone else got something that they did not. That's,
About that.
There isn't anything.
Nothing.
there isn't anything
No.
you can do.
I mean, I can see where they would be upset. But it's a gift for a resident. Versus, kids are gonna be upset no matter what.
So what you can do, like at least for spooky soiree, if you're still doing the trick or treating. Like the kids, every kid can still get a trick or treat bag, so you can still do an offering where everyone still gets something complimentary, where kids can do bounce houses, et cetera. However, this is an exclusive tent if you have your CROA ID. I believe we did that for last time today.
It's like the idea of an annual pass holder magnet.
Yeah.
so I'm just looking through the kids' eyes,
No, I'm just totally, good
Yeah.
point.
do things up at the school all the time. And the kids come in and certain kids are getting, and then the other kid goes, you don't qualify for this. I mean,
They don't understand that, yeah. But to Nikki's point, if they're gonna do the trick or treat, they'll have another option for that.
Or if the committee wants to review, this is a limited edition item for residents, and then here's the, yes, you know what I mean? We could find 2 different options, you know what I mean?
What do you suggest?
Well, the idea of having something, an exclusive,
This
Right.
worked last year, correct?
Yes, the board approved that for last year.
So the board approved it last year, pretty much the same board, except for one new person. Why wouldn't they approve it this year?
oh, they would,
Do you have a problem? Like, do you agree with this, Allison?
I mean, I definitely think just from, again, with all the chatter that is going on right now, I do think they might some residents might be feeling maybe a little neglected a lot for events. And that's
Yeah, but
definitely-
we're making it so that,
No, I know. I know, we know what we're doing. But you know, it's hard for some people to see that from the outside of what we're doing in the background. You know what I mean? So I'm
And this is
totally
something
fine
that's
with
not,
this.
they're familiar, it's already happened.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the only difference that we would be doing is implementing another event to it, which I personally might think that they would appreciate the $5 fee for non-residents for that specifically because of the celebrity aspect to it. And because, you know, with the drones, you know, that we couldn't have a specific area,
Mhm.
that I think they would actually really appreciate in a way eliminating some crowd sources for that event.
And maybe to Eugene's point with the children, maybe you can have another different special, the children who are not residents. Say, any child under the age of 12 who's in attendance will, can have this.
Yeah, and something to add on to your comment, Allison, is, Journeyos needs to do a pre-show. And we're only going to send that out to residents on the specific day. So we're gonna explain once
It's a
it's
technical rehearsal, not a pre-show.
Sorry, technical rehearsal. As you can tell, Allison's been in the industry. So basically, it's a technical rehearsal, so at least residents, if they don't wanna go downtown that night, if they're not interested in the band, but they want to see the drones, at least there'll be a night where it won't be as packed, because no public, it's not gonna be publicly noticed on the website, it's just gonna be sent to the residents, so they'll be able to see the drone show without a crowd. So we're trying to do things of trying to make the residents feel special, especially that specific.
And we all know, I mean, there's so many non-residents that have signed up for the Friday Flash. We are well aware, there's only so much that we can do on our end to help with that. But either way, somebody you know is going to take the Friday Flash, or they're gonna screenshot the, hey, residents only. They're gonna post it on every side porch, back porch, front porch, all the porches.
Yep.
And so then it will become a public thing. So honestly, that technical rehearsal, it's in the hands of all the residents. If they want it to be just on for them, they're not gonna share it. If they don't care, they're gonna publicly share it. But we are doing what we can to at least eliminate that a little bit by providing something extra special for them to be able to go downtown to see it before everybody else does. So.
okay, so I'm looking at this and from the previous committee, I'm sure this was discussed in detail. The board voted on it. The only thing you would have to do is change the date and add the spooky soiree and the November 5th Lakeside Park resident only event for Founders Weekend. And the board will vote on that. Do you have thoughts on that? And maybe, you know what, I hear you, Eugene, with the kids, because I know kids see a lot. And we just give the kids the ticket for the item. I mean, they're paying $5 to come in. Right? Do the kids pay $5 to come in also, if they're guests? The grown-up don't need anything, the kid gets something small. The child.
That's what I was saying.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about if they come in and they get to do like the phone thing that we just did, where we events. Something like that. I'm not talking about something with value.
Yeah, all
I'm
of
talking
the
about the
activities.
oh, you can't go on this ride, you can't come in.
We would not, no,
Yeah,
we
I'm
wouldn't
not
do
I'm
that.
talking about a special
That was
crown or
the
a special, I'm talking about telling them that they can't go in a certain area.
No.
That's
Yeah,
what
we
I'm
don't
not
do that.
talking about something that has an actual physical
No.
value.
No, once they're in, they're in.
Yeah.
If
It's
they're
just
paid.
about those specialty, limited edition exclusives that we're talking.
So if you're good with this, should we vote on it and push it to the
Do we
July?
To vote on it?
It will be, yeah, you will have to vote on it for a second and then
All
all.
right, so you want to make a motion
So we'll make the motion
to accept the consent?
to add this special event guest policy to the spooky soiree And November 5th, Lakeside Founders President only event. Like that, November.
So
Lakeside
yes, that is what you would be voting on today. And then this will go to the next board.
President only.
To accept this as basic.
Well, so we're gonna accept the way it's written, but we're just adding to the title and putting the new dates in.
Okay, I'll make the motion to accept it.
And
Wait,
it's
second?
$5.
I'm sorry, you're,
Anybody want a second?
to accept it, I'll do it.
Hold the vote.
All in favor? Aye.
It's done and over with. I'll have to
How
work.
do, how do you guys feel about it? It can be, you guys feel good about it all?
Yeah, I mean, we are a small and mighty team.
Very hard.
We are doing our very best to ensure that this year is completely different and new and exciting. And luckily, we have the team that's willing to take risks, even if the backlash is not exactly what we want. But we need the backlash in order to succeed for
Right.
the future.
So
So
see how you can change it. and
Exactly.
affect it.
our goal is to never remove an event or to do something to specifically upset any residents at all whatsoever. It's just to take the leaps, you know, where we've been doing the rinse and repeat here, I think, for quite a few years. We were hearing it from the residents of, we're not gonna go anymore because we already know what the event's gonna be like. And so far, we have not heard that. And that is all that we need to keep on going. So again, any feedback is good feedback for us, whether it's negative or positive. We take it, we run with it, and we just improve for next year. So we're not afraid of anything. But it's important to have, you know, you guys as a committee that's also on the same page with that, and to make sure that, you know, you are the residents and speaking of that voice, because people are gonna start to know and come up to you if they haven't already, knowing that you are on this committee to say, hey, can you bring that to the, you know, to the attention of so-and-so. And which I think is really special. So, I mean, I feel good, I'm happy. How do you guys feel about it?
It's great.
I
I'm,
think it's
I
good.
think you guys did a great job with everything.
You guys-
Smooth,
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah, and even when you get the negative, although it's hard to hear, it's for such a small group on the whole. You get 2 people out of 1,000 who thinks it's not good. I can take that.
and you guys raised a lot of money in sponsorships. Kudos.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you guys.
one last thing, we talked about when we come and help with these events,
Mhm.
about if we were gonna get a shirt or something to show that we are like part of this.
Yeah, I know name tags were brought up with the last committee. We're actually working, at least for like pro volunteers, even when they're working the events. They do have a lanyard, but, you know, it's dark.
Yeah.
So, I know that a lot of people were looking for kind of those volunteer shirts. So incentives are in the works. I know I brought it up a long time ago, to Lauren about kind of having some sort of an identification for a committee member when they are working the event. So I can definitely see what our options are there for that too.
It's a good
For
idea.
me, I was trying to help the last event with all
Yeah.
the kids coming in with the bikes.
Mhm.
It just looked like I was a resident
Yes.
versus someone trying to, you know, tell
That's
me. could or
totally
could not
fair.
come in.
And sometimes they'll blow you off like, oh, who are you?
Mhm.
Okay, sounds good. Committee comments. Catherine,
I'm good. I spoke my piece.
I'm good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think it looks great. EJ,
Yeah, great meeting.
cool.
The motion.
That motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
I'm taking my water. It's just-